Hi everyone, Colorya have sent me their latest mandala book to show you. So we are going to have a flip through in a moment just to tell you about their books in case you haven't seen one of my flip throughs. As you can see, they have the ring binder at the top, which makes them nice and easy to use. The paper is very smooth. I think they are really designed for use with markers because they're so smooth, but I have been using them with pencils. I don't use a lot of markers. I have tried. But they're really for use with alcohol markers. I found that when I use water-based markers, they didn't dry very quickly. So I found alcohol markers are probably going to be better, but I have like one. So it's not something that I use. But pencils do work. You just have to persevere a little bit and find one that works on smooth paper. But let's have a little look. So we've got Animal Mandalas, and we have our this book belongs to page, I'm guessing, is what it is. It's got a really pretty floral design on it, as you can see. Now the pages are really very, very thick. Hold it up to the camera. They're like card. They're really thick, and they're single-sided. So you can, as I say, I mean, these bits are quite small for an alcohol marker, but you can, you know, use them with confidence. I would still put something behind if I was using any sort of wet medium, but you know, you can. Now this is always the same in all of their books, the little message, but you've got a few bonus pictures there if you want to colour them. Now I have to say that these books are French and they're very hard to get hold of in America. The newer ones, you can get some of their older ones, but they take quite a long time to release them in the US. But you can get them on UK Amazon, and I will provide the link. I'm an affiliate for Amazon, so it'll be an affiliate link. So here is our first Animal Mandala, which is a sort of elephanty style design. And here we have a lion. I think it's quite an interesting concept because you've got your animal to colour, but you've also got a sort of symmetrical floral area as well. And this one's very cute. Giraffe. Some sort of cat. I'm not sure what. Wild cat. I've got no clue what that is. No, I don't know. I was going to try and make a guess, but I really don't know. Same as this one. I don't know what that is. It'd be nice to have a little list, but I bet there isn't one. Now this one is... no, don't know. I'm good, aren't I? Really useful. This is something with what looks like horns as well as ears. It's really cute. No idea. There's another one. Just rubbish. This looks like a zebra. Can do that one. This is a cute little thing. Otter maybe? Not sure. And this must be a hare. Oops. And I'm going with dog. Sort of corgi type dog. But there is some really teeny tiny details in here. But of course, when you're doing a page with tiny details, you don't have to colour in every gap. Sometimes you can just fill in that whole block and let the markings just show through. That's what I would often do. That's a really cute animal. Is that a pig? These don't look right, but the nose does. That must be a rhino. It is. Look, it's got a horn there. There's a dolphin. And here we have them. Is it a bear? It looks like some sort of rodent. I'm going for a possum. A horse? Must be a horse. Some sort of wild cat, but not a large cat. You know, like a little, I don't know, something. With penguins, I can do them. And we have, I would say turtle. Could be a tortoise, but I think it's a turtle because its shell's quite flat. is must be a cow. Squirrel. Obviously a panda. And this edge is the same as on our front page, remember? This is more of a simple one, actually. Oh, chameleon. That'll be fun. You can just do it the same colour as this and try and hide it a bit. That looks like a fennec fox to me, maybe? Maybe? I don't know. A frog. Now, I'm going to colour one with you. Oh, there's seahorse. Nearly forgot. This one's interesting because it doesn't really look so much like a mandala, although the boat repeats. I suppose it is. I've got my Chromaflow pencils because I think they work best on this sort of shiny type paper. I am going to pick this one because it's quite simple, the panda, and just do a little bit. So my Chromaflow pencils are here. I'm just going to open them up there with me for one moment, and I'm going to show you how we can do the body, because obviously it's black. So how are we going to do black when it's black? And you know, so let me show you. So here's my black pencil, Chromaflow. I'll come in a little closer for you and just give you a few ideas really. So we've got all these little markings, and there are lots of different things you can do. I'm going to look at this ear, and I'm thinking I've got this background bit here, so I'm going to colour this in a dark black. I haven't put any paper behind the page because it's such a thick page that I don't think it's necessary. And it's single-sided, which makes such a difference. And you can see they're going down fairly well, but I'm going to layer them up a little bit more because I want this bit to be quite dark. And I've done this on a picture quite recently. I'm just checking my lights on so you can see, where I did just black. Actually was this one black pencil. So for this flower centre here, I'm going to do that one quite black as well, particularly around the edge. And then this one light, so just a light layer, yeah. And then here, I'm going to fade it towards the tip of the flower. I'm going to make it quite dark here, and fade it up, like that. And the same with this one. And hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Maybe I should come in closer. You can see how we've got black, or we've got different shades of black. We'll do the same with the leaves. And then you can see. Now this book's been out for a little while, I think, so if you're a fan of Colorya, you've already grabbed it. But they've got quite a few different, they're mainly mandalas, their books. The last one actually was more like Johanna Basford's Small Victories, with lots of smaller designs, but some of them were a little bit too small, I felt. Just going to darken that a little bit, and that, so that each petal's quite even. There we've got our ear. The other one would be the same. I've got one book that's got a sort of mixture of pictures, so some are mandalas, some are sort of people, some are sort of cutesy type pictures, sort of a mix. And then I've got one that's trying to think, there's a sort of one with Christmassy type pictures in. I don't think it was all Christmas, it was sort of cute creatures. And then there was one which had hobbies, it's based around hobbies, but they were sort of little mice doing various different things. So they've got a few different themes to their books. And I there are pros and cons. Now, I don't like books with a ring binder, but because this ring binder is at the top of the book and it's miles away from where my hand ever goes, then I'm perfectly happy with that. The only problem with it is trying to stack it on my shelf without it cutting into other books. I have to be really careful where I put them on my bookshelf, and they're quite big books. So they're A4 size, and they don't fit on my. They only fit on my oversized shelf in my bookshelf, so I have to be a bit careful with that. Most colouring books are a bit smaller than this. With regards to height, obviously you can see the width isn't as wide as some books. Yeah, the paper, as I say, you have to choose your pencil carefully, but you can see that this is going down really nicely, this pencil. Do the eyes now. I'm going to do the same thing with blocking in the background bit. I think that worked quite well, even though this bit doesn't have dots on. And then with the petals we'll just do a gentler layer. I've usually found that most pencils work fairly well on this paper. It's quite interesting because some books, like Lulu Mayo's and Millie Marotter's, I find really hard to get a nice even pencil. But I found these aren't too bad, considering they're quite thick paper. But they almost feel a bit like a Bristol board, which is designed for pencil. But Colorya do sell alcohol markers, I think. They've never sent me any. I've never even looked at whether they sell from their website or whether it's only through Amazon. I've got no idea. And they all send me their Amazon link to promote, so I guess Amazon is what they prefer. Because I would have thought that if you had a website you'd want to sell off that because you'd have to pay Amazon then. But Amazon is a good, I've sold through Amazon before various things, and it's quite a good marketplace because obviously it's very well known, so people just trust it, sort of thing. There we go. Now, where should we go? So there's eyes and ears. It looks quite effective, I think. How are we doing for time? Oh, we've got a while. Maybe we'll do a bit more of pandas to give you a few more ideas. So this little section here, I think I'm going to do the background darker. I don't really know how to colour the sort of squares, you know, so I think what I'm going to do is just do them a bit lighter than the background. I wouldn't really know how to colour this in alcohol markers, because I guess you could use a grey if you have different tones, but you know, if you're going to use a black, you couldn't do different darknesses. That's a good word, isn't it? No, more or less layers to change the intensity is what I'm trying to say. You wouldn't be able to do that with your alcohol markers, so I think pencils, you know, works well. Now I think what I'm going to do with this, I'm looking at the border and wondering whether I would do that in black as well or not. I'm just going to do a light layer over it like this, sort of ignore the shape and the pattern and just put a layer over. I'll see how it looks when I've done, whether I think it needs a bit more. A lot of them are a bit small or cut off by the edge, it's a little bit tricky. I'm excited today. My favourite TV show is starting tonight, and I get excited about it for two reasons. One, because it marks the beginning of autumn and the lead up towards Christmas, which is cool. I don't like summer, too hot. It's nice, everyone on holiday and things like that, but I can't cope with hot weather, so it's really nice. And there we go. I think that's fine. Now we've got this bit here. I'm going to do this bit dark and sort of fade it a bit. So darker on each edge and sort of fade towards the middle. Yeah, so my favourite programme is Strictly Come Dancing, which is like Dancing with the Stars, and it's just so happy and jolly, you know. I'm going to make that one light. I don't know whether, I think I'm going to make this one really dark. So when you've only got one pencil, you have to come up with different sorts of ideas. Rather than changing your colour, you have to decide how many layers to put down. Oh, I've made that too dark in the middle. Hold on, let's grab an eraser. Oh. You can see how well it erases. Oh, very well. I don't know if that's a testament to the paper or to the pencil, really. Yeah, so you have to think about layering rather than colour. And actually, it can be quite a good exercise in learning how to layer and learning how to shade. And like if you're doing, say, a face, I mean, we're not going to do this face, we're going to leave the white. It can often be a little bit daunting because if you've never done, say, a face before, you wouldn't necessarily know how to colour it. And you've got a challenge of making the skin tone colour correct to what you want, as well as getting all the shading right. I'm just doing stripes here, look. And that can be really difficult. You've got like a double challenge. So if you choose just one colour, then you can concentrate on the shading without worrying about getting the skin tone correct. And I find that was quite a good place to start with skin, really, when I was first doing it, and hair as well. Rather than doing brown, blonde, whatever, you could do blue or green, red, you know, an unusual colour. And of course, depending on the picture, it can work. I've done pink hair. I've done pink hair for a girl in a Hannah Carlson book who looked like she had lots of candy, a candy necklace, so I thought pink hair would work. I've done a sort of turquoisey green hair for a sort of mermaid, you know, that sort of thing. And of course it doesn't matter, you can just do what you want. It can just all help you to sort of work out your shading without having to, you know, as I say, think about what skin tones to do. I think I'm going to do this one darker. So it can be really useful, and also it's quicker. If you have to keep, firstly, you're not choosing a colour, which can take time, but also chopping and changing colour all the time takes time, just putting one down and picking it up, you know, so it's quicker. And sometimes I just want to do something quick. I don't know, I can often feel like I'm in a rush, and I shouldn't, because, you know, colouring is supposed to be the relaxing hobby that slows you down, and, you know, sometimes I just want to get a picture done. I want that satisfaction of finishing something. I don't know if that makes sense. It might make sense to some of you. I know some people are quite happy to just start a picture and then not finish it. I can't, my brain won't let me do that. Sometimes I wish it could, because sometimes I rush to finish a picture and then I'm like, oh, I wish I hadn't, because it looks a bit rubbish now. But I haven't done that for ages, to be honest. Rush to finish something. I'm getting a lot better. Now we have this stripy bit going through, and I'm going to make this top one really dark. So I'm actually just pressing harder. Now you need to be careful if you're pressing hard. There are disadvantages because you can indent the paper. You can burnish so hard you can't get other layers on top, which is fine in this sense. The paper is very thick, it's robust, it can take me pushing down on it. Also, you might break your pencil, so that's important. I know this pencil can take this, but Chromaflows aren't always that resilient, Some of mine break easily and most of them don't. It's very old. It's almost as if certain colours are not so good. I found that to be the case with some other sets of pencils where certain colours didn't seem to last. I kind of do this bit lighter, which was quite strange. But I haven't used any set enough to think that. I did think that with my polychromos to start with, that particular colour was worse. I think that's a stripe there, but actually it wasn't. So sometimes you find you buy a pencil and it just happens to play up. It doesn't want to work nicely. I think that's just down to that particular pencil might have got a knock, might have been dropped, that sort of thing. Right, so there is that little bit. Now I'm going to come out a tad because we've got this paw and this bit the same. So what I'm going to do, they're flowers, aren't they, is do a light, really light layer. So I'm holding my pencil really far down, colouring on the side. This is best done with a blunt pencil. Mine isn't that blunt. Chromaflows keep their points fairly well, and it was quite sharp when I started. But my aim is to try and get a reasonably even colour. There we go. And you could just leave it like that. I'm not going to, but you could. You can hear the strangest noise. Oh, I know what it is. My husband's watching a film. It's the film music. He's watching a Carry On. Is it Carry On Cowboy? I think he says it's his favourite Carry On film because the character thinks out of the box and defeats the enemy in a sort of unique way. But if you're not British, you may not have heard of a Carry On film. I'm going to do the petals darker, like that, and then do the centres of the flowers darker. Yeah, I think Carry On films are very British, and they're also very of their age. They're very sexist, racist, those sorts of things, which I'm not necessarily approving of. But anyway, I mean, I'm certainly not approving of racism at all. Sexism I'm different with, because being a woman, I sometimes think things are a bit over the top, but I don't know. My husband says he's more of a feminist than I am. It's quite funny. There we go. So I've just put a little bit of colour in there to give it a little bit of texture, and do the same on this one. But yeah, it's yeah, my husband says he doesn't like Friends because it's homophobic, whereas I think it's just of its age, like same as the Carry On film. It was an acceptable way to speak and behave at the time, and we should actually use it as a lesson to learn that that isn't acceptable anymore. We shouldn't behave like that, speak like that, etc. But anyway, it's quite a controversial topic, isn't it? But I just feel we should just be kind and lovely to everybody, and then we have no problem. Right, Panda, how are we doing? We've got this bit. I'm trying to think about what to do with the rest while I'm sort of doing this bit. So if you just add a little bit of colour, in a little bit of a layer of colour in certain areas, then you get a nice sort of look, I think, to him. I was going to do a little short or a flip through of this to put on my TikTok, which is suddenly getting loads of views, and I don't really know why. Maybe by the time this comes out, it would have gone. But this here, what's this? Is this the back foot? I'm thinking I'm just going to do that. yeah, I was going to do a flip through for TikTok, but I forgot, and of course now I've coloured this bit, so do that bit lighter. There we go. Now here, there we go. Now I've got this stripy, so I'm just going to do alternate dark and light stripes. How dark and light you go is up to you, but I would say either make every stripe different, or if you're doing alternate like me, you need to try and make every other one look the same. There we go, it's nice and quick. Now a flower, I'm going to go dark in the middle and dark-ish here, nice and light on this bit. Then make it dark from base to tip, dark to light. Yeah, we had a busy morning. The children cleaned the house for us, which was nice. Children, 19-year-olds. We cleaned the house while we went shopping, so we did farmer's market, got some lovely bread, eggs, got a biggish shoe, magazine, and me and my son love doing the cryptic crossword. We finished it the last couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks now, so we're sort of on a challenge that we've got to finish it, you know. And so that, and then what else do we buy? Oh, some unhomogenized milk, which husband likes. Now this one looks like little scales, so we're gonna go darker here at the top and then go lighter to the tip, and then darker in here, a lighter to the tip. Ooh, very dark, is it? There we go. Yeah, and then we went to the supermarket and did our big weekly shop. We completely forgot something which was hilarious, which we'd spoken about and forgotten to write on the list. I'm sure you all do the same thing. Anyway, I can always pop out tomorrow. But the boys did the cleaning for us while we were out, and so that was good. We only needed to do quite a quick clean today. We cleaned really well last week because we had guests, so it didn't need much tidying up and stuff. So that was really good. They'd rather stay in and clean than come out and shop. My one son gets really embarrassed by my husband because we go into the supermarket and he just talks to everybody, the staff that is, not the customers. What to do with this, I think we'll go a bit darker, quite dark actually, around here. So he chats to everybody. I mean, I talk to the chap on the till and just vaguely say hello to the staff that I know as I walk past them, but he'll stop and actually wave to them and have a long natter and everything. And my son's like, that isn't the right way to behave. You have to just be quick, you know. It's like, I think there's a in-between where you can sort of say hello to people and then quickly move on, unless they're serving you, and then you can talk to them for a little bit longer. You know, the guy who served us today, he likes a natter, he chats to us about his family and, you know, that sort of thing. Now this one, rather than doing the dark background like I've been doing for some of the others, I'm going to keep this one light. So I'm going to do it all with as even a colour as I can. And then I'm going to do these little patterny bits with make them darker. But anyway, it is nice to have a little chat to people, see how they are. But yeah, I don't know what that bit is there, whether I should have left that white. I think I'm just going to colour it in like that, like I will do with these. I'm just going to colour them in even. I'm blocking them in. I'm not shading them or anything. Now the outside edge I am thinking about now as well, because what we're going to do with that, well, I think we should probably go for some colour, but which colours are going to go with our black? Well, I'm thinking a red, like a scarlet for the flowers, yellow middles, green leaves, and then my nose is running. Maybe a black for the circle bit, a really dark black, maybe even a pen, so it's really dark, really intense. Now we've got this last leg to do first though. This one, again, I'm going to do a light layer up until we get to there. And then just go over the patterns. Like that. Now these squares, let's do a sort of patchwork effect, so let's colour that one and this one. Like that. Then this way we'll go light here, and we'll go really dark on this one. It's not really working, is it? Okay, light on this one. I'll see how it pans out as I go. So that one is the darker one, that one should be darker. And then dark on this one. So that one should be the darker one there. Here, light across here, just darken like that. It should be a bit darker. It's not really doing what I wanted, unfortunately. Oh well. Make this one dark. Now what is going on here? We've got patterns like we did on there. So I think I'll make this bit dark and then fade it towards the end there. Same on this one. I've gone a bit over it anyway. Sure, I can just fiddle it a bit. So make this bit in there darker, lighter towards there. Lighter towards this curled over bit. And this bit, let's see, try as beeping. This one really light in there. And then put the darker bit in here. And here. Okay, so there's our panda. What I'm going to do is, because it's lunchtime, I'm going to make that do for my video, and I'm going to finish him off, and I will post a completed picture of him in my socials, so you'll be able to see it. So as I say, I'm going to do this bit in a really dark black, this line, then flowers in red with yellow middles and some green leaves. That bit there I might do in black as well, but a slightly lighter black. And I don't know about doing a background behind our panda. I will decide once the rest is all done, but that is him for now. So I hope that's given you a few ideas anyway about colouring in just one colour, because I think it's quite a valuable thing to be able to do if you just want to finish something quickly, or if you've got a design like this which really does feel like it just wants one colour. But thank you for watching. I will leave the link to where you can get the book in the description. I will have a look and see if there's a US version, so do take a look if you're interested in it, because I might be able to find one, but there might not be one. But I'll ask Colorya, if I can't find it, I'll ask them if there is one and pop it in there if I can find, if there is one. I've just noticed that I missed that bit. Anyway, but there we are. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a super day and happy colouring.